know that me and Will are, we're real estate investors, been in the business for years, a combined about 20 years of our real estate experience between us. And, me and him got a chance to start this group back in 2015. We believe that we were handpicked by God to start this group. It's not us or anything like that. We just believe that we were in position. God put us in position to do this thing, and we were able to do it. We sat down, at a Barnes and Noble. God just put the plan together. Had our first meeting at a Piccadilly, and little did we know that we would be preparing ourselves for times like this. Little did we know that what we will be building. We've been able to help, countless numbers of partners, be able to do their first deal. We've helped countless number of partners, actually be able to, do deals. We've even had partners that have done six figures, been able to train and coach partners to six figures. And, but little did we know that this will be God's purpose to build this community will be for today. We wanted to build a community of like-minded people, like-minded individuals that wanted to do real estate, wanted to do it, with a sense of integrity, wanted to be able to do it, in faith, and practicing their faith as well. And we all come together as a community, and we did not know that that we would be able to that we would be in times like this, and still going times like this. 5 years now, in times like this, we've been able to still go and still do our Zoom. So, in light of, the present circumstances of what's going on, we had a deep discussion today about, hey, we prayed about it, had a deep discussion today about, hey, what are we going to talk about today? We can, we always say that this Zoom is about mindset. And we realized that, that we still have to keep our minds set on what it is that we are set to do. And even in present circumstances and present times, big ups to the family of George Floyd, big ups to all of the other people that had to die, for this. Big ups to their families, everybody that had to die, for us to see this day. We are so grateful to them. We're grateful to their spirits of what had to be done in order for us to come into the today the way it is. So we're grateful for that. In respect to even everything that's going on with Corona, and the world having to react to Corona, and then just this knocking on the world's door of what's going on right now. We are even grateful for that. So we want to thank God that we have been blessed and we've been picked, to kind of help you guys navigate through times like this, still doing deals, still buying, still selling real estate, but at the same time, doing it with a sort of balance that's required for us all to do today. So just want to say that. Me and Will, we have been discussing about, some of the things that we are going to talk about, during this Zoom. And partner, can you hear me? Because I can see you, but can you hear me? And feel free to jump on in. Yeah, feel free to jump in at any time. We've been talking all day. First off, we're praying about, what we're going to talk about tonight. But listen, we still have deals. We still have a business that we're dedicated to, that puts food on our table, that allows us to, to be able to have a voice, to be able to have a platform. So we've been doing things all day together. And like I said, I'm just grateful. When we started this Money-Making Motivational Mindset Monday, when we started this Zoom, we were just thinking that it was just about motivating people to be their best in real estate, overcoming the Monday bias. But guess what? Things have changed. Things change quickly. So you have to shift, because guess what? People aren't going into work these days, and so people don't have a job. A lot of people don't have a job to go into on Monday these days. So, things shift all the time. So, we talked about that, and little did we know that we will be preparing for times like this,
Yeah, absolutely. But everything you're saying has been good, man. That's why I was just kind of letting you But first and foremost, let me give all the glory to my Lord Savior Jesus Christ for just giving us this platform. And I like the way you said that earlier, that I feel and you feel that we were actually handpicked to do this, what we're doing. Handpicked meaning being able to allow God to use us to be able to speak to the community, about His word, the truth, and just mindset, and bringing real estate into effect as well. Real quick, I see a couple of people chiming in. I just want to kind of give a couple of shots out real quick before we jump into the message tonight. I see Ryan always, of course, consistently being on here. He said, "What's up, fellas?" The grind guy said, "What's up, fellas?" Cynthia said, "Hello, my awesome brothers. What's up, sis?" And Brad Campbell, hi, William. What's up, Brad? Just wanted to, give a couple of shots out real quick. But I think, one of the things that just popped up in my mind that I seen a couple of posts a couple of days ago, and I think I've seen a couple of people post about, and I know we got a couple of things that we want to talk about. We're going to, touch on that. But first off, I wanted to kind of touch on, a lot of people have been talking about the year 2020. And I think when we were still in 2019, everybody was so excited about 2020, it's a new century, 2020 vision, everybody's just so excited about it. But I've been seeing a lot of people post lately like, man, like 2020 feeling like a nightmare. Like you got COVID-19, you got all this stuff happening with all this going on out here in the world, and it seems like the world is coming to an end. But let me just get my point of view, and everybody have their opinions. I think this has been an awesome year so far, to be honest with you. It's been a good year for me, because and let me just say this, I think that it's been not a good year for all the tragedies that's been happening. Let me be clear on that part. But me personally, I think that it has given me perspective on life. It has given me perspective on life. It has given me perspective on business, family. I think that God is wanting people to come closer to Him and seek Him more, which it has really, not saying I've never been close to God, because I've always been closer to God, but I've been praying more. I told you that earlier. I've been praying more. I've been reading my scriptures more, because I really, really I'm seeking balance right now. I'm seeking balance in my life. I'm seeking balance, and we talked about this earlier, that you can get distracted with everything that's going on. And, distraction leads to a person being lost, and one thing you don't want to be is you don't want to be lost out here. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you can not be lost is finding balance. And I think God is the only way that can lead you to getting that balance. And, what I mean by balance is balance in life, balance in knowing how to respond to what's going on, and respond in a proper way, respond to what's called upon you, the way to respond. I give kudos to everybody that's protesting. I pray that God, told you, hey, this is what you need to do. This is where I want you at. And you following His lead, and whatever it is you're doing for the better of, the world, find the balance for that. Don't let distractions of what's going on. Also, on the flip side of that, don't let that distract you from what your purpose is and what your why is. Get embedded in what you're supposed to be doing and what your focus needs to be. Get embedded into, your family, getting closer to your family. All the things that are priorities, get embedded into those things. Don't lose sight into your family getting the time that they deserve. Right. God getting the time that He deserves. And still balancing out, making sure you, of course, being the business manager or businesswoman that you need to be, and still, you know, having a voice, you know, having that voice and standing up for your rights or standing up for what you believe in. So all of that, what I'm saying, you know, it's balance. There's a lot of balance, you know what I'm saying? And the only way you can keep balance is, I just think you need to really pray on it and allow God to guide your day. You know, I'm more getting there, and I'm sharing this because I think that we all need to just, you know, wake up every morning and spend some time with God and say, God, how you need to use me today? What you need me to do today? What do I need to be? What do I need to be doing? What do I need to be focusing on? You know, because he might say, hey, today, I don't need you to be distracted at all. I need you to focus on your business. Or you know what, today, shut down. It's family time right now. You know what, I need you to, you know what I'm saying, do this. You know, just find that balance. You know what I'm saying? Find what you're supposed to be doing, because if you don't, you're really just going to be out here just kind of doing whatever you want to do. And let me just say, that's a road to destruction, because it will lead you to making decisions that you can be like, man, I shouldn't have said that, or man, I shouldn't have did that, or man, I should have did it this way, or man, I should have did it that way. Because when you allow God to use you and you allow him to speak through you, it'll help you make better decisions. Because just let's be honest, guys and ladies, we're all frustrated right now. It's a lot going on. We going through COVID-19 right now. All of this protesting and all this, you know, unfairness that's been going on in America through police brutality, all that's going on. A lot of people losing jobs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, screaming, you know, the unemployment rate is at an all-time high. It's a lot going on, but you don't want to get distracted, you know, because one thing you always got to remember, that the why, your purpose, it still got to get accomplished. You know what I'm saying? It still is a priority, you know what I'm saying? But again, you have to find that balance. You got to pray for that balance, you know, and just don't make that decision and say the wrong thing, or make the wrong decision, or, you know, choosing to not balance out your time and doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or just, you know, it's just, I can go on, but balance is very key. And I'm gonna let you touch on what we talked about earlier, and shout out to the grind guy. You know, his word of the month is shift. And I told him that, you know, we were going to talk about that because you talked about it. And I want you to touch on, you know, your pastor basically talked about, in her sermon, talked about shift. I really feel that all of this was happening. It's a shift coming. Not that the shift is coming. The shift is here. The shift is already here. You know what I'm saying? The shift is here. And just like what I was just talking about earlier, you got to find your way to get within and receive what's already here. You know, change is about to be happening. A lot of things finna start happening in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, from the real estate market to the economy, everything that's going on. And you have to put yourself in position to be ready for the change, be ready for the shift. There's going to be a shift in the government. There's going to be a shift in the way we do things in life. The way we eat, the way we shop, the way we spend our money, the way we, you know, I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of months, the way we buy real estate may even take a shift. Deals are going to be, you know, maybe plentiful, and it may, you know, not be so plentiful. So the shift is coming, and it's already here. It's kind of already here. And again, we have to be prepared to be able to adapt. We have to be able to be prepared to balance all these things out. And the only answer is him. The only answer is the Almighty. That's the only answer. Don't try to figure it out yourself. You know, all this stuff I'm talking about is just a lot. But don't try to figure it out yourself. It's a true answer. And it's not one answer. Let me just say that. It's not one answer. Everybody's answer and everybody's, you know, what you're supposed to be doing is different. What God put on my heart or what I'm supposed to be doing is totally different from Tim's. Totally different from everybody else that's listening right now. You know, the goal is to find your place and do what you're called to do in this time right now. God may have a specific assignment for you, and you can't miss out on what you're supposed to be doing. So what's your interpretation? What you feel about the whole shifting and the whole, what I was just touching on?
Well, and I'm just grateful for, for how you said that, man. And I'm also grateful for, you having, perspective and knowing that, there are certain things that need to happen, knowing that there needs to be change. I'm glad I have a partner that knows that, hey, things have to change, things have to be the way they are. I'm grateful for a partner, that actually, puts his head in the word and and focuses on the word. But the thing that really got me this weekend was Brian guy, his word is shift, for the week, for the month. And my pastor, Dr. Debbie Armstrong, big ups to Dr. Armstrong. She was talking about shifting yesterday, and she said, the things that are happening in the world, have caused a shift, and have caused you to shift. But the question is, where are you going to shift? How are you going to shift? Are you going to shift, in ways of lawlessness? Which, hey, I mean, anybody that's out there doing what they're doing, listen, we're black, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of us are black. So we definitely, understand what it's like, but are you going to shift and keep your eyes on God? Where's your shift going to go? And if you keep your eyes stayed on God, then God will show you exactly which way he wants for you to go. Like you said, God has a plan for everybody. Even in his word, he states, Jeremiah 29:11, he says that he knew you before you were even born, before that he knew the numbers of the hairs on your head. So if God knows the number of hairs on your head, don't you know that he understands and he has a plan for you? And his plan is not what man's plan is, but his plan is what his plan is. So if you're following that, then you will get to a place where, you're going to, every time you get up, pray to him, focus on him. What is it that he's telling you to do? What's the assignment that he has for you that's different from anybody in this world? This right here of what's going on now, from COVID-19, to the riots, to the protesting, this is all creating change. And, today, like when you talk about shift is going to happen, shift has happened. So when shift has happened, like you said, a lot of things have changed, from a standpoint of our political structure, that is changing. Matter of fact, I want you guys to go out and vote tomorrow, but that is changing. The religious, everything is changing, how you worship, where you worship, all that's changing, how we do real estate, all that's changing. And you could be the innovative person to do something different that's going to set you on a path that, that changes your family's history. And that's where it is. So as opposed to just following and just be like, well, I'm going to do this because everybody else is doing it. No, seek God first. Everybody has a different plan. Everybody has a different assignment. I'm not saying any of the things are wrong, but everybody has a different plan and everybody has a different assignment. And we want you guys to find what your purpose is. If you don't already know it, find out what your purpose is. This is the perfect time to go back into your study. We've got a little bit more time now than we ever have. And instead of Netflix and chill, hey, how about reading the book? How about getting your head inside that Bible? How about getting it on your knees? How about doing that and praying to God, and finding out what it is? We can be distracted with anything. We can be distracted with anything and everything that's out there. As a matter of fact, I believe that there are a lot of things out there that are planted there for a distraction and are supposed to set you off of your course that you are supposed to go on. So that's why you've got to really be seeking the wisdom of God. And I don't mean to come off as preachy or anything like that, but you've got to really, really be seeking the wisdom of God. There's another thing one thing that we know is that, and we teach on mindset all the time. So we know that whatever consumes your mind is what controls your life. Whatever consumes your mind controls your life. So here it is. If you're sitting here watching Netflix, and I love Netflix, I love Disney. I love the different things. But I am so glad that sports, has been paused. I'm glad that sports has been paused, because I found myself, watching sports aimlessly and needlessly. And now that they're not here, I'm grateful. It's really blessed me. So I've got to count myself as one of the people that that this has changed and this has shifted. So what I've been doing in my time is I have been studying the word. I've been focusing on the word more than I ever have in my life. And what it's done is it has centered me. It has centered me. It has given me a peace that passes all understanding. So you want to know, how do you have peace in the middle of all this going on? Listen, if you've got a purpose that God has given you, and God has put you in a specific direction, then guess what? You're going to have a peace, because you're going to stay focused on what it is that you're supposed to stay focused on. We have partners that have closed their first deal during COVID-19. I saw some posts today where some of our partners actually closed stuff over the weekend, not over the weekend, but on Friday. They're going out collecting their checks today. So guys, in the midst of everything, this is all we're saying, is in the midst of everything, stay focused. Stay focused on what it is you're supposed to stay focused on, but also have that sensibility, understand what's going on, that balance and things of that nature. I can tell you guys that during this time, my wife is the stock market guru. and but it's all been because of this shift. It's all been because of, she's had an opportunity to stay home. She's had an opportunity to study, focus, and things of that nature. So, it has really put me and my family in a better place because of a shift. So I'm, listen, dude, I'm just grateful, that we don't have to consume our minds, with the weighty things of the world. That if we focus on God, then that will control our life. Whatever we choose to focus on, like if God says, I want to put your focus here and put your focus there, that's going to control your life. And if God has that his stamp of approval, then guess what? It's going to be blessed. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that because of the evidence of my life. I give you a quick testimony. A couple of years ago, when I went through a horrible divorce. And before that, I was just a happy-go-lucky guy. But during that time, it really allowed for me, and this was my hell. Going through that. Will knew me at the time. So, he can attest to that. But in going through that, it caused me to really, really focus. It caused me to really focus on the things that were important. Will can testify to you of that. It really caused me to focus on my relationship with God. It really, so what I'm saying is, God can take the worst of things. He can take the worst of things that can happen in your life and turn them around for the good. He can truly do that. And what that did was, I didn't want any of that to happen. No, I didn't want any of that to happen. It wasn't, it's not the things that happen to you, but it's how you react to the things that happen to you. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. When I first got the news that was going to happen, I sulked and I cried, I babied, I did everything. I got into a fetal position, got depressed and everything. But God quickened me up. God quickened me up. How did God quicken me up? God put me in, he put me amongst the best friends that I could have in life. Will is being one of them. Put me among some good, great people that allowed for me to, to go back and focus on the things that were important. It allowed me to refocus. So God can take that worst thing, we're talking about the riots, we're talking about COVID-19. We're talking about the protesting. We're talking about all the needless death that has happened at the hands of, law enforcement. We're talking about all that. God can take the worst of things, turn it around for the good. He can, and he will do it. I can testify in my life. It happened. And some of the best times, have emerged from that, from me being in a valley. Some of the best times have happened. Some of my greatest financial breakthroughs have happened because I was at one time in a valley, had another opportunity at love. Now I have a wife that loves me, and
I like what that's good what you're saying, bro. I think you really touching some people, man. Xavier was like, I agree with Tim. But I like what Brad said. He said, I've been through a divorce, makes you focus on yourself and not in a selfish way,
Exactly. And that is true because the thing that happens during divorce is you can focus on, you be like, what I do wrong, what's wrong with me. And you can really get into a point of, of a pity party. So with this right here, what's going on in the country right now, we can get into a point of, of having a pity party for ourselves, as a collective country. We can get to that, or we can get to that next part in life. We can get into that next part in life, the part where God wants us to go. You know what I'm saying? And wherever God wants you to go, that's, listen, that's the land of milk and honey. And from that bad time, I've been ushered into a land of milk and honey. I never knew that I would have this platform. I had no idea, didn't want it, but God had his plan. God had his plan. And I was a willing and obedient subject. Let's just put it like that. I'm a vessel. So that's, that's where I want you guys to really, to really just be, if this is the worst time in life, then just understand this, that there are better times coming. If you, like what he said, stop focusing on you, don't focus on you, keep your eyes stayed on God. The minute you take your eyes off of yourself, then I promise things will happen, things will unfold that you won't believe. And just coming from a person that has been through. So yeah, that's my testimony in that. And that was, that was good. Yeah, I mean, that was my personal hell, and going through that. So
that was very good.
Praise God.
I think life is it's like a caterpillar going through a cocoon.
Yeah.
You stuck in that cocoon, is like you stuck, and that's like when you kind of going through that storm, and you kind of like in hibernation, and you kind of going through the storm, but to know that when that cocoon opens, a beautiful butterfly comes out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how you need to kind of know that I need to end my life or finish my life strong and finish, coming out, fully blossom, fully bloom, ready to hit the earth, ready to hit the world, full speed, and not being trapped in that cocoon forever, because you got to come out. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out that storm. You got to come out of whatever it is you're going through, whatever it looks like that's not going in your favor or going your way. You got to bust out that cocoon. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out a full blown butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Ready to fly, ready to hit life. Running.
That's good.
I think that's kind of what you did, man. I think that's what you did. When you bust out of that, like you said, you brought a divorce, you was stuck in that cocoon. Like you said, you was feeling sorry and you were just wondering what was going on. But when you came out, you know what I'm saying, and you found true love on the other side, you know what I'm saying, now, like, man, you know what I'm saying, you found happiness, you know what I'm saying, what everybody seeks, what everybody's, search for in the world is everybody want happiness, you know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful that I found that, you know what I'm saying, within my wife as well, you know what I'm saying, just finding happiness, you know what I'm saying. And I think that we always, you know, trying to find that balance of happiness, you know what I'm saying. And we always talk about success does not mean rich, you know what I'm saying. It does not mean you got all the money, you got the Benzes, you got the Ferraris, you got the big mansions and all that stuff. That stuff don't mean nothing without happiness, you know what I'm saying. Give me happiness over all that. I'd rather be broke and happy, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be broke, don't get me wrong, but I want to be happy. I do want that. I want to be happy, you know what I'm saying. But just don't get them confused, you know what I'm saying. We talk about it all the time. But I'm glad, bro, that you found happiness, man, and cause you can definitely see it all over you, and it translates into your work, and it allows you to be a better person, because we talk about this all the time. In order for you to set an example and help other people around you, you got to be the best version of yourself. You know, how can you be a blessing to other people if you're not the best version of yourself? You know what I'm saying? And you believe it or not, you bring the best out of the people around you, you know? And you got to, you know, when you find that happiness, man, and God using you and for all the right ways, man, like, you better the people around you. The words that you're saying right now is a positive impact on the people that's listening right now. Do you know that people need to hear that? You know, a guy just related to his situation similar to yours. And sometimes you got to get that perspective and say, you know what, man, like, no, I'm not going to play the victim role. No, I'm not going to feel like my life or my world has come to an end because I had a setback. Right. Setback equals setup. You know what I'm saying? Point blank. Setback equals setup. You know, if you let it be your setup, you know, setup for success. You know, setback don't mean stay setback. It means, you know what? I'm temporarily down right now, but guess what? I'm about to get back up, you know, and it equals set up, you know, it's only temporary, whatever it is. This world is going through a temporary setback.
Yeah, it is.
But it's set back to set up. You know, it's set back to set up. The economy going to be stronger than ever. You know, when they get all these bills passed and all this stuff that everybody's, you know, standing up for and protesting for, it's just one more step to make this world a better place. You know what I'm saying? It goes way back to when Martin Luther King was preaching before we was even born. You know what I'm saying? When he had I dream speech before I was even born. I never, you know, just didn't even know that was planting a seed to even where we are today.
Prophetic.
And even everybody who's out there standing up for what they believe in, it's planting more seeds. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we want our kids to be in a better place and live a better world. You know what I'm saying? We want it like that.
Well, here's the beautiful thing. Like this is how you know that God just wants you to move forward, right? Delano, you know what I'm saying? Like in the midst of all of this, got a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? Got a baby on the way. So God, you know, God really wants you to move forward. You know, God does not want you to be stuck in neutral at all. Anybody, and really like a lot of times we get stuck. You know, a lot of times we get stuck in that place. You know, because we don't have the right influences around us, or, you know, we don't have the right people around us, or sometimes we don't have anybody around us. Sometimes we're just isolated, you know, and sometimes we get stuck because of that. And I just remember, when I was going through what I was going through, I just remember like I was stuck. I could only think about one thing. And we'll remember is like when I would talk to him, he was like, God, what is he going? But it was one thing that I could think about. And sometimes you really need something. Listen, if you guys ever gone to the car wash, and, you know, and prayerfully you go through a car wash that doesn't scratch your vehicle, but you know, those car washes where they have the touchless car washes, etc., you know, where, you know, when you go up to the attendant, you know, the attendant tells you to put your, he tells you to actually put your vehicle in neutral, right? He tells you put your vehicle in neutral. He doesn't tell you to put it in reverse. He doesn't tell you to move it forward. He doesn't tell you to go into drive. He doesn't tell you to go into reverse. If you go into reverse, you're going to hit everybody around you. You're going to be a mess to everybody around you. But if you move it forward, then you're going to, by yourself, then you're going to be a mess to everybody around you. So you put it in neutral, and whatever component that is, that's right there, whatever component, that component propels you into the wash. It propels you into the wash. Whatever it is, it's whatever assistance that is. And this is what I call God. This is what I call God. God is that component that's going to compel you into cleaning. It's going to compel you into your place, into the place where you need to be. So by the time you get out, you don't even know, you don't even know. All you got to do is put your vehicle in drive. All you got to do is just put it in drive, and all of a sudden your vehicle's going. But all that time, God was helping you. God was assisting you. And that's that's where putting your eyes on God is. God is going to help you. He's going to assist you in going through this place, this place of, getting clean, getting all your worries off of you, getting all the residual of whatever your past is. God's going to help you go through that place. So by the time it's time for you to get out of that place, by the time, look, you put that thing in drive and you just gone. You just gone. You just gone. You clean everything. All the residual, all the bad stuff is off of you. All that stuff is gone, and that's what it's like. So a lot of times we are in neutral, and I call this like anybody that has done their first deal, anybody that's done their first deal, but doesn't, but doesn't move forward past that, or anybody that has not done their first deal and has been in, been in, newbie purgatory for, for years, maybe 2 years or such. But it's because you have not accepted that assistance, put it in neutral and let somebody else guide you along the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about real estate now, but you can't drive your vehicle yourself. You need help to get where you need to go. You need help to get clean, this is why we do this mindset. This is why we do these mindset calls, is because listen, you need help. You need help getting past all your insecurities. Listen, we need it too. So that's why, we do this thing as a community. That's why we do this thing as a community. We've been blessed, to answer the call of God, what God has told us to do. And let's help each other out. Let's help each other out in that place. One thing I noticed is one thing that I read as a quote one time. It said, "Don't focus on your adversaries. Focus on all of God's possibilities." Focus on all God's. If you focus on the enemy, this, that, then guess what? That's going to be your focus. It's going to dominate your mind. It's going to control your life. But if you focus on the possibilities that God has for you, then guess what? It'll be a limitless supply. It'll be a limitless, a limitless thing. I wanted to say this, and I want to kind of answer what Mark, what we were talking about, the riots, and this is, and I'm kind of going all over the place, but I'm not. It says, Martin Luther King said this. He said, "And I must say tonight that a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is in America has failed to hear. It has failed to hear the promises of freedom and justice have not been met." So for anybody out there that's, dissing, people that are rioting, and I'm not saying it's the best thing, but these are people that haven't been heard. They haven't been heard. And once they've been heard, then there's a place of guidance. There's a place of guidance once they've been heard. And, that's what we're here to help do. That's what we're here to help do. We're here to serve. We're here to serve, and prayerfully, everybody on this Zoom, on Facebook Live, is here to serve, and that's what we're doing. So we're here to help you guys get your deals done. You need prayer, whatever. Go ahead, partner.
Now that was good, man. Everything you were saying. I wanted to get some of these comments out.
Oh, okay.
Delano said, man, just Jesus got me crying, Tim. So I guess he really got touched by just, the word and just how good God is. I mean, I find myself sometimes crying too, just thinking about how good God is, man. So I definitely can relate to you on that. Deanna was saying, this is definitely encouraging, guys. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that, sis. And John, he had said earlier, it's all temporary, but there will be a setup question is, do you want to step up and make change and shift your mindset to be on the other side when everything changes? So I think, at the end of the day, man, when we talk about mindset every Monday, when we had these conversations like we had tonight, which was a, great conversation. I know, some people might say, Dad, every other word coming out their mouth, they talking about God, God, God. Well, let me just tell you this. When you talk about mindset, you are talking about God.
That's right.
There's no way around that. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about it because that's what it is. And if you, which everybody should make it a goal of theirs to say, how can I be a better man or woman, whatever that looks like, whatever race or ethnic or whatever, you are, how can you be the best you? It starts up here.
Yeah.
And this equals God, because guess what? When you get embedded in him, like we've been talking about all tonight, he will point you in the right directions of making the right decisions, making that shift that you need to make, balancing out what you need to balance out, like we talked about, making the right decisions, prioritizing the things that need to be prioritized, getting out of that cocoon like we talked about earlier and becoming that butterfly, getting out of being stuck, from being stuck to being happy, finding peace, being fulfilled within. You can't get any of that stuff without him. So that's why we talk about it so much, because in order to get the proper mind, it starts with him. And as soon as you figure that out, or not even just figure it out, as soon as you start implementing that on a daily basis, then everything you want in life, or all the things that you yearn for, will just never become anything. And you have to apply it. It's very important, man. You have to apply it to your daily life, and it's so good, man. It's so good. And the reason why I can speak on it is because I'm a living witness. You're looking at it in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at it in the flesh. If you really knew my past and you know me where I am today, then enough said, point blank, enough said. If you really knew my past, if you really knew my background, if you really knew, what I've been through in my life, and you look at my life right now, enough said. And that goes for everybody that's listening, because we all have a past. We all been through, things. And at the end of the day, when you look at your life now, you know what I'm saying, you know how good God has been, then, man, it's a God. Like, for real, it's a God. Like, for real. So I'm grateful, man. I say that to say I'm grateful. Yeah, spend time in gratitude. We didn't even touch on that. That's a whole, that's related to everything we've been talking about. But find ways to find gratitude in everything.
Praise him. That's real.
And you'll be able to appreciate this message. And you'll be able to appreciate this message.
It's one thing, Will, to to just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing to actually, like people don't always know like how you got to be where you are, or how you got to be so grateful, or how how you became such a quote unquote super Christian. But it's another thing to really understand like where this person is coming from and why they're coming from the way that they're coming from, and it's another thing to really understand that, we don't, we're not just, talking about it or, or, what we heard or what we saw,
And we're not, and another thing, we're not coming off like we're saints either. We're not coming off like we're perfect.
That's
You
what we're saying.
know,
That's why we're saying, like,
I pray that God help me limit my mistakes. Let me just say that. I pray God help me limit my mistakes.
yeah.
Let me just say that.
And the thing is, like the thing of the life of being a Christian is you're not perfect. You're not perfect. The only thing that's perfect about you is the peace that you have.
Still growing.
The only thing
I'm still growing.
that's perfect about about you as far as being is the peace that you have. God will give you a perfect peace, but you're not perfect. You're not perfection or anything like that. It's that's why the reason we come across the way we come across is because of how grateful we are of our trials and our tribulations and just the stuff that we've been through. That's why we come across that way. And dare I say, that's why God has blessed us. That's why he's blessed us is because
that's why I wanted to make sure I put that out there, because sometimes people could be on the outside looking in saying, man, they all preachy. They think they got it all together. They think they perfect. They think, no, by far not. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm just trying to I'm trying to limit my mistakes. Let me say that. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to limit my mistakes. But life is cycles. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, when I look back on my life back then and when I look back on my life now, I hope and I pray and hope that 5-10 years from now, it's another cycle where I've surpassed even where I'm at today. And that's what I'm praying for. So I'm praying that my cycles just keep going up. You know what I'm saying? And
you don't make the same mistakes. Like meaning like we don't go through the same, like we don't go through, like we know we're gonna make mistakes, but meaning that we don't go through the cycle again of whatever we did bad, prayerfully, God to put us in a place where, we don't have to.
Sometimes people get stuck in cycles, bro.
Right.
Sometimes you get stuck in cycles and you don't want to get stuck in a cycle.
You don't want to get stuck in a cycle or in a bad cycle, good things, but you don't want to make the same mistakes that you made, say, 5-6 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that, that gets old. So, and that's what I'm praying for is like, hey, I don't have to repeat this test again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you, Will, for bringing that up, because we don't want to come across as just like, we're these perfect Christians that, that don't get into anything like, or anything like that. But, it's always conscious of us, we're not perfect. We're not perfect, because we're gonna slide out of my mouth sometimes, but we're grateful, we're grateful. So hopefully that helps somebody in itself. Hopefully, like our stories and our testimonies will help somebody. We're not afraid to tell our story. We're not afraid to tell our testimony, because guess what? We redeemed. You know what I'm saying? Like we are redeemed. Like we, we're covered. So that's, prayerfully that'll help somebody. And we heard last week, someone that was on the Zoom was like, just keep it green and just talk about money. Well, guess what? In 2020, all these things kind of intertwine with each other. And if you don't stand for something, guess what? The old word says, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So I would rather be standing for this, as opposed to, whatever else is out there. So, family, what,
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Now, what, man, we appreciate you, D. Like we said, you got a child on the way, and we're talking to Delano. He's got a child on the way. So that's why we know God wants us to move forward, because even in times like this, people still having kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality. So you've got to look past it. Sometimes you've got to shift, like it's okay, like for time, we angry, we mad, we upset, but then God replaces that. He replaces that with, okay, so I'm mad, I'm angry, upset. Okay, so now I need to get some understanding. Okay, so now that you give me understanding, God, give me a plan, right? So, you know, it starts off one way. It starts off like, man, that dude got killed. He had his foot on that dude's neck. I can't believe it. You know, talking about this thing for hours and hours with my wife, you know, and my daughter, calling my mom. We talking about it for days. And, you know, you eventually get to a place where you be like, God, you know, what's going on? You know, give me some understanding. Give me some understanding. This is where this all comes. This is how we are. You know, give me some understanding, God. Give it to me. Give me some revelation about what's going on. And when you do that, God will give you that plan. God will give you what he wants you to do next. What he wants you to do next.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
So that was good, man. Guys, you know, we try not to go past the hour mark, and I think we're about at the hour mark. This is real good.
I didn't know if anybody had a
real quick,
something like that.
Yeah, somebody don't mind answering any questions.
I mean, listen, we'll talk. We'll talk about it. I mean, we'll talk about real estate. I mean, I think last week I know we were talking about this issue, and we got into, you know, the agent thing. You know, we got into the you know, is it good to be a real estate agent? You know, we got into that. You know, one of our partners, we got a chance to, you know, kind of talk to her about that. So, you know, it's coming up on the hour mark. You know, again, me and Will, we wrestle with this thing every single week. Should we talk about mindset the whole time? You know, y'all let us know.
So yeah, we definitely want to, you know, if you do got a question, we'll definitely stay on to answer any questions. If it's dealing with mindset, if it's dealing with the discussion we talked about tonight, you want to give your perspective. Any real estate related questions, any mindset related questions, anything, you know, you want to share, feel free to do that. Real quick, you know, we are currently still working. We're still looking for deals. We're still in this real estate business that haven't changed, you know. So with that being said, we want you to be a part of our community. You know, we want to be able to grow with you. We want to be able to do deals with you. We want to be able to assist you in whatever way we can. That was the purpose of this whole meetup. It was not to glorify me and Tim. It was for us, you know, like Tim said earlier, God chose us to build a community. And that community is spreading his word. That community is helping people launch their real estate businesses. It was to build communities for people to partner and work together. That was the sole purpose. And, you know, we want to be a part of your career. We want to be a part of, you know, whatever you're doing that's real estate related. So definitely keep us in mind. If you want to talk about a deal, if you got, you know, something that you mind sharing with us, our email always is still the same. It's REI Wholesalers are us at gmail.com. That's REI Wholesalers are us at gmail.com. If you got a deal, if you want to talk to us about a deal, if you want to share with us, we want to partner with you. We want to be a part of what you're doing. We want to be a blessing to you. So feel free to keep us in mind when you got a real estate deal or something real estate related you want to talk about. Keep us in mind. Let me see if any questions came in real quick.
We do have a comment. Deanna said the topic was perfect, and what we need to hear. Well, that makes me feel good. That it was the perfect question, perfect topic. But we do have a question that we wanted to get to Deanna, and that was asked of us a little bit early. So Deanna, if you could, if there's a way that we could possibly.
We got another question at the bottom. I seen somebody named Daniel. He said, when you guys first began wholesaling, what do you do to keep yourself motivated even though you didn't see the results? I think that's like a new question, which is a good question. You know, I'm glad you asked the question, Daniel. So he basically, you know, you want to answer that. He basically was saying, you know, when you first got started, like what kept you motivated? Because I understand where you're coming from. A lot of people, you know, they'll quit, you know, if they don't keep their minds on this, because if you don't see results instantly, a lot of people just quit. They don't stay motivated. So what are some of the things that kind of helped you you know, when you was kind of trying to get?
I'll say this, like when I really got started in the business, I was fortunate in that, in that I had a partner at the time, and we were both able to kind of navigate everything together. So having someone else around me that was encouraged by this business and wanted to do this business, that helped me stay in the game. Just to be honest, because if you've got people, and that's why we built this community. Like if you've got people around you that are that are saying, hey, you can do this. Look, somebody just did it. Then that's one thing that will encourage you. Another thing I'll say is when I was trying to get back into the business, one thing that I did was I had to really make confessions. I had to make daily confessions to myself. I had to write some stuff down on paper and remind myself of who I was. Yeah. Like we had to do that. Like we had to almost trick ourselves into belief. We had to trick ourselves into that belief, and that belief, we were able to hold on to that belief long enough to where we could until we got to a closing, and that true belief began to show through. So there are two things I believe are the best things. I believe it is telling yourself who you are continually, and that's by writing it down, putting it on paper. And then the other thing is surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Stay away from negativity at all costs. All costs. If you're gonna watch, and during this time, like if you're gonna watch some TV, watch the HGTV show, Flip This House. Me and my wife been watching that thing, and my wife wants to get out there and flip some houses. But, but watch stuff that's going to edify what you are doing. Listen to podcasts. I mean, there's some great podcasts out there. I'll say this. Go to the REI Wholesalers R Us YouTube page and, just get into some of those testimonies. I mean, we've got testimony, and we haven't put all our testimonies out there, but we've got testimony after testimony that you can see that will encourage you. So keep your spirit right. We've designed that page to where everything that you see is going to be encouraging, and everything that you see is just going to edify what it is that you're trying to do. So go to that page, check it out, spend a couple of hours on that page. Listen, I can watch YouTube all day. I can get YouTube University all day, and it'll keep my mind consumed. It'll keep me thinking right. It'll keep me doing right. Eric Thomas is another one of my favorite people in the world to focus on. So, those things, what you say about that one, partner?
I'm gonna comment on everything you said, because everything you said pretty much is the same answers I would give. So I'm gonna just basically comment on every topic that you brought up. So when you surround yourself around the right people, when you talked about that part, first and foremost, you gain accountability. I think we all need accountability from time to time. So your surrounding is very important. The energy that you bring from the people that you're around is very important. Like Tim said, avoid negativity at all costs. That's a deal killer. You know what I'm saying? If you got the wrong people in your circle, the wrong people around you, the wrong voices that's telling you what to do, the naysayers, you're believing what people say that's contrary to what your beliefs is and what your purpose and goals are. You need to be focusing only on being around the right people. That's for one. When you talked about the affirmations and speaking things into existence and stuff like that, that helped me with my confidence. It took me almost 9 months to close my first deal. I remember listening to a YouTube video of this guru, real estate investor that I was following back then when I first got started. And he did a whole podcast on affirmations. And one of the things he mentioned, and I took this to heart, he said that affirmation and speaking things to existence, where your mind start really tricking yourself and believing what you're telling yourself, sometimes it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. But he specifically said that you need to be doing it every single day, looking yourself in the mirror, telling yourself how great you is, telling yourself these positive affirmations. And he said, you don't need to stop until you close your first deal. If you're not doing it every day until you close your first deal, then you're not doing it enough. So because it's a confidence boost. You know, we all need confidence. You know, I think when you quit, and I think when you don't push till you close that first deal, you don't push to the end, there's a lack of confidence. You believe, you start feeling like I can't do it, or I don't have what it takes. There's some type of, it's a mindset, and it has a lot to do with, you know, the confidence, you know. So why not build yourself up? Why not speak affirmations? Why not allow God to trick your mind to thinking and believing, you know, the things that you need to believe, you know? So all of that stuff. And again, like you know, we could talk about reading the right things and listening to like EP, Eric Thomas, and all that stuff like that. All that stuff, you know, is great, you know, but the main thing is stay embedded in the word, surround yourself around nothing but positive people. And you need to be saying your affirmations every single day, because if you're speaking affirmations every day and you're speaking positive things into your atmosphere and into your circle and to your mind every single day, that's enough to motivate you to say, I got to keep going. I can't stop. By all, you know, I got to keep going. It ain't no turning back around. It ain't no giving up right now. It ain't none of that. Like, I got to keep going because I know it's victory on the other side. So that's enough, you know, just to know that, you know, that's all you need, you know.
And you're not tricking yourself into what's not true. Remember this, because when you're born, all those things that, you know, that are good are true about you. It's just that you're deprogramming yourself about everything that's happened to you that's bad in this world, you know, from being programmed to, you know, to do this, to accept the 9 to 5, or, you know, whatever it is. So you're refocusing on what is already true about you, and that's
Right.
what it is. So you're not lying to yourself. You're just
Right.
reprogramming your mind to believe what is already right. So
Yeah.
that's where that's where it comes from. So I love it. Will, how you you know, like you mindseted your way in them 9 months, you know, like after all the work that you did. And, you know, it's like you have been planting seeds that whole time. You've been planting, like when you were putting your signs out and nothing happened for that whole time, you were just planting seeds. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that deal came, right? Or those 2 deals came, right?
Absolutely. And again, I was in that 9-month span. I wanted to quit. Don't get me wrong. I can't sit here and say I didn't want to quit at some point, but it was something in me that wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah.
And I really feel, of course, God, I'll get all the glory, but I feel that when I was building my confidence up and I kept telling myself, if that person can do it, I can do it. You know, when I kept feeding myself, you know, the affirmations and stuff, it just pushed me. It pushed me to the finish line. And trust me, when you get to the finish line, you on from there. Like, you know, ain't nothing else gonna hold you back. Like, you off to the races, you know. And we all need to get to that place. Tony said, thanks for the inspirational message tonight. I needed this. We appreciate you, brother. It means so much, you know, when people say that the message was great. It was a blessing to them, and they really need to hear this. So we give all the glory to God. And man, thank you for sharing that, and we appreciate everything. But again, you know, thanks for the questions that came in. Thanks for staying with us tonight, guys and ladies. We appreciate, you know, all you guys that's taking your time on to listen to what we got to say. Again, don't forget, if you got a deal, if you want to partner with us, send us an email to reiwholesalers@gmail.com. We should be posting some information about the meetup coming soon, hopefully by next week. So be looking out for that. And if you're not following us, which you should be, Facebook, William Galloway, Instagram @Uncle Bill Buy Houses, Facebook, Tim Harvey, Instagram, who is Tim Harvey. You need to be following us. So following negative stuff, you need to be following positive stuff. So so make sure you guys stay connected with us. That's it. We love y'all. Be safe. Be careful out here. We'll talk to you guys next Monday, 8 p.m. same time. We'll be here again with a, you know, maybe have a guest. You never know. But It'll be good. We'll see you guys next week.
That's,
Love y'all. Be blessed.